Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more news from the Golden State Warriors, but before that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. The Warriors' bad moments don't seem to go away. There are many problems in the current season. And given this, it will be necessary to make new hires. Lakers bring Chicago Bulls star to help Stephen Curry. The Golden State Warriors have long been rumored to be looking for a second star to pair with Steph Curry, and those talks have only intensified in recent weeks amid the team's struggles this 2024-25 season. While Golden State continues to compete for a playoff and play-in spot, they look nowhere near being a contender. Sure enough, a borderline postseason team is now how they imagined their campaign would be, especially in the remaining prime years of Curry. In fact, after the Warriors lost to a Jimmy Butler-less Miami Heat, several fans have urged Curry to demand a trade and give himself a chance at a championship with another team. As the Dubs look for ways to turn their season around and elevate themselves to contender status, though, ESPN proposed a trade idea that could make that happen. In the proposal, the Warriors send Andrew Wiggins, Gary Payton II, Kevin Looney and their 2026 first-round pick to the Chicago Bulls in exchange for Zach LaVine. While Golden State's depth would take a hit in the trade idea, the team will get a capable star who is having one of the best seasons of his career. LaVine has thrived when he has called his own number this season, shooting 49.5% and notching 116 points per 100 possessions on ISO plays, which put him in the league's 91st percentile, the ESPN report highlighted while explaining the rationale for why the Warriors should make the trade. That is music to any suitor's ears, particularly a team such as Golden State that wants more reliable production beyond future Hall of Famer Stephen Curry. Golden State Warriors forward Jonathan Kuminga drives against Chicago Bulls guard Zach LaVine. Copyright Kamil Krzyzewski Main Images and #169, Kamil Krzyzewski Main Images. The ESPN report further emphasized that LaVine is exactly the kind of player that will do well in Steve Kerr's offensive system, someone who has shown the ability to effectively play off the ball as an elite catch-and-shoot option and a cutter. Of course, there might be concerns from both teams that could hinder them from pulling the trigger on the trade idea. LaVine, who is under contract until 2026-27 after signing a $215 million deal in 2022, could generate a bigger return for the Bulls if he maintains his current high level of play. As for the Warriors, parting with key members of the team like Wiggins, Payton and Looney could be too much, especially since the three were part of their 2022 championship team. For now, fans can only wait and see what both teams will do as they navigate the season. Rumors: new trade could happen and Warriors could sign player. Golden State Warriors interested in John Collins? The Utah Jazz appear to have interest in trading John Collins. According to Jake Fisher, the Utah Jazz are actively exploring the market possibilities with John Collins. From Fisher's article, league sources say Washington and Utah are actively exploring the market possibilities with Jonas Valanciunas and John Collins, respectively. Chicago has likewise invited trade interest in center Nikola Vucevic for weeks. John Collins has had a breakout season for the Utah Jazz this year. So good that Utah has had to be extremely conservative with his minutes and injury. Collins is shooting 52.5% from the field, 43.8% from three, and 86.7% from the free throw line, which is a huge improvement from last year. Enough that you could even consider Collins a candidate for Most Improved Player. The biggest question for Collins is his contract. Collins is making $26.58 million this season and has a player option next season for another $26.58 million. Trades are much harder now with the new CBA than ever before. For Utah to make a trade happen will be difficult and require a team that wants him enough to put the salaries together to make it happen. A team out there that might appears interested in John Collins is the Golden State Warriors, according to Michael Scotto. The Warriors have continued their due diligence on the trade market and inquired about potential frontcourt upgrades, including Nikola Vucevic, John Collins, Jonas Valanciunas, and Robert Williams, league sources told Hoops Hype. Conversely, the chances of Golden State acquiring previously reported wing targets such as Jimmy Butler and Cam Johnson have decreased, sources said. Scotto mentions that the Warriors won't mortgage future assets just to make a trade. So that begs the question, what would the Warriors offer to make a deal happen? To trade for Collins, it would take a matching salary like Andrew Wiggins or a combination of players like Moses Moody, Kyle Anderson, and Buddy Hield. Utah might be interested in something like that, but they're more likely going to want some sort of pick package. It may be as easy as some second-round picks to make it happen. It just depends on what both sides are looking for. Utah is not likely interested in adding more veterans as they're trying to develop their youth. But they might be fine waiving some players. More bad news comes on the heels of historic loss. The Golden State Warriors have been dealt another blow in a tumultuous season. Veteran forward Draymond Green has been ruled out for at least a week with a calf injury. This setback could not have come at a worse time, with the team sitting at 21-21 and in 11th place in the Western Conference, on the outside of the playoff picture. Green's injury compounds the Warriors' challenges as they navigate a crucial part of their schedule. The Warriors have upcoming matchups against Sacramento, Chicago, the Lakers, Utah, and Oklahoma City. Golden State will now have the challenge of staying competitive without their defensive anchor and key playmaker. Historic home loss raises alarm. The Warriors are coming off a stunning defeat that has many questioning the team's ability to recover. Their 125-85 blowout loss to the Boston Celtics on Monday is the worst home loss in Steve Kerr's coaching tenure, marking one of the most lopsided games in franchise history. "This was embarrassing," Kerr said in the post-game press conference. "We got outplayed in every facet of the game. It's a wake-up call for us, but now the question is, how do we respond?" This historic loss doesn't just affect morale, it puts additional pressure on an already struggling team as they head into a pivotal stretch of games. Green's injury adds to pile. Green's absence is the latest in a string of injuries hampering the Warriors. Jonathan Kuminga has been sidelined since early January with a right ankle sprain. He isn't expected back for several weeks. Additionally, Brandon Podziemski has been out since late December due to an abdominal injury. And Kyle Anderson remains unavailable with a glute strain. This spate of injuries leaves Golden State severely short-handed as they fight to stay in playoff contention. Steve Kerr addressed the team's adversity after their recent loss. "This is not where we want to be, but it's where we are," Kerr told NBC Sports. "We need to find our rhythm and stay competitive while we get healthy." Green's leadership and versatility have been pivotal to the Warriors' success over the years. Known for his defensive intensity and ability to facilitate offense, his absence leaves a glaring hole on both ends of the floor. The team will need others to step up in his stead, particularly during a make-or-break stretch of games that could determine their playoff hopes. However, despite Green's injury, there is some optimism. The team has announced that Draymond will be reassessed next week. With some luck, there's a chance he could return in time for their matchup against Oklahoma City. The Warriors' situation is dire. Sitting outside the play-in tournament positions, they cannot afford to drop many more games. With Green sidelined and key contributors still on the mend, Golden State's margin for error has all but vanished. If the Warriors hope to salvage their season, they must rally in their coming games. The Warriors must find a way to compete without some of their most critical players. The team's resilience will be tested as they battle through this challenging period.